Hello everyone, this is Primetime Wrestling UK. This is a special edition since it's my first year of doing my YouTube show. It's gone along so quickly now. Today I've got a guest with me. Finally got him on, Chris Vint.
Hello, I was going to sing happy birthday, but my singing is dreadful, so I'm not going to. And I don't have a cake with a candle in it either, I'm afraid to say, but sorry. But happy birthday, and thank you for having me on. It's nice to be here.
It's taken a while to get you on because of work and all that.
I was just, you know, as Michael Cole or Jerry Lawler says in WrestleMania 30, special moment, special moment. So I was waiting for the special moment to come, and then the 1 year anniversary, I thought, I'll steam in there.
Anyway, today we're gonna. First, I'm gonna start off with a competition I did for my Facebook, and then we'll move on to talking about Chris Vint's experiences throughout the years with going to wrestling events. So first start off with, I did a competition on my Facebook group where you could win this Stone Cold Steve Austin DVD, and I basically asked people what their favourite Steve Austin moments were, and I brought it down to 3. Basically, 3 are between, one was Steve Austin winning the world title at WrestleMania 14 against Shawn. The next one was against Owen Hart in '97 when Owen dropped him on his head when he won the IC title.
That's memorable, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, unfortunately. And the first time Steve Austin Stone Cold stunned Vince McMahon.
That would probably be the winner for me, is that end one, the last one.
Steve Austin stuns Vince McMahon, which is Joe Scott.
Why would you say Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock at WrestleMania? That's what I would have said.
No one did. Some people said Austin Brett, but there was never that one. But yeah, that's Joe Scott.
Oh, this is not rigged, I swear.
Yeah.
This is not rigged.
But Joe, if you do a video on this, take your hand off the mic, so like...
Just like, Levy Scott, Joe Scott.
So yeah, Joe, you've got to make sure you watch this first before you the show that is before you find out about winning this. People skipping through it. Anyway, now on to your wrestling experiences. When did you start watching wrestling?
1992, WrestleMania 8 was my first wrestling memory. Is my dad was in work in some hotel, and the guy had actually recorded it on VHS from Sky Sports, and the guy was kind enough, no offense to any American people, to cut out the American national anthem. The first glimpse that I had was El Matador, Tito Santana, walking down to the ring, and that's why my favourite WrestleMania, one of my favourite WrestleManias is WrestleMania 8 for that very reason, is because of that. That's why I got Psycho Sid, who was one of the most boring people you ever meet in your life, and signed my magazine Sick Vicious, not Sid Vicious.
Sick.
Once I'll get it later on, I'll show you. But that's what he signed it as. That's why I got him to sign that. So he kind of tarnished the memory of it. But that's whenever I started watching it was then. I kind of just got into the magazines and kind of stuff like that, and kind of just snowballed from there, really.
On a note about magazines, have you heard they're going to stop selling the WE magazines?
Yeah, I've heard that. You know, whether they'll actually go to somewhere else to get it published or whatever. But to be honest with you, how many people actually buy magazines these days?
I think I'm the only one who does.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, but it's a case of the same with like the Power Slam. It's finished now.
Yeah.
Well, so Fighting Spirit's the only one left, but it's kind of like buying a magazine to do with your favourite gaming console, whether it be Nintendo or Sony or whatever. It's just really, really biased and really, you know, this is going to be the most epic match of all time. Like, okay, yes, I'm sure that Fandango versus Santino will be amazing, but it won't be really.
I'm actually surprised they haven't kept it in like a download format for the Kindle or
like
something.
A digital thing, yeah.
Do you think that would cost, if it's to do with costings and all that, you'd think that would be a lot cheaper that way?
I think it's because of the staff that they have to do, because obviously, you know, like, I think a lot of people would rather, I know I would rather go to see stuff on the internet rather than actually buying a magazine, because the magazines are always like a month or two behind. Whereas obviously with the internet you've got the stuff right there and then for you to check in on. And you can also go to WWE.com for your latest WWE firing news.
Well, there's so many websites now about rumours and all this stuff. It's kind of been left behind magazines now, really.
Yeah, I think, because they said that, and then there was the 5 NXT people, and the only one I knew was Chris Christopherson's son, and he didn't have a clue who the other 4 people were that they released.
Yeah, I can see eventually there'll be no wrestling magazines at all, unfortunately. But...
No, I think with the likes of, with your smartphones, you've got like so many different apps, like the Bleacher Report or Pro Wrestling, things like that. So it's a case of just, and as I say, a lot of things with it being done digitally now and with their YouTube channel, I kind of fear whenever the network starts for DVDs and Blu-rays. That's my next big fear is that, because if they bring something out, like say the Paul Heyman documentary, which I watched and it's absolutely fantastic, if you have any qualms about getting it, just go and buy it, because it's one of the best documentaries. Austin's is just above it, and then Punk's is just below it. But there's so much stuff I did not know about him at all. But then with the network, things are, like the pay-per-views are available almost instantly, and the Raws and stuff are available like a month after. So it's nice to go back and watch the Raws that we were at after WrestleMania, or the WrestleManias we were at, and go like, yeah, I remember that part, or I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a shame if they stopped the DVDs as well, because I always like to have them there instead of just shoving on the network. Because if anything ever happened to the network or anything, if for some reason they closed it down or something, it's like I'd never sell all my complete set of DVDs because of that reason, if they suddenly just cancelled it on you.
I got rid of a lot of my DVDs, I'll be honest, because with me having the network, I'll just click it, and to be honest with you, I haven't really watched that much of it. The only thing I've really watched on it was Legends House, which is just hysterical, to be honest with you. But that's been it. But they seem to be putting a lot of their back catalogue stuff, like Total Divas and things like that, all onto it. So, I think this is one of the main reasons why we're having all these cuts, is because this hasn't performed as well as expected.
It's cost them a lot as well.
Yeah, well, with it being available in, what was it, April in the United States, and we're not getting it over here till October, with the UK being your second biggest market, I don't understand why it wasn't available straight away, like it's going to be in Australia and things like that. So sometimes beggars belief what they're actually doing.
They had a huge drop after WrestleMania 30. Apparently, WrestleMania 30 itself didn't get many buy rates.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons we're not getting it is because of Sky probably dipping their fingers in to get some extra money as a payoff or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the pay-per-views I've watched after Mania haven't been that great, so there hasn't been any that I've wanted to go, like I've watched the pre-show and went, I need to buy that or whatever. It's kind of been a bit lackluster.
The thing is, with the network, when we do get it, you're not going to have pay-per-views on it anyway. Your NXT, Saturday Main Event, Raw, SmackDown, because it's contracted. They've already signed a new contract with Sky Sports. Yeah. So we won't get any of that on there when we do get the network anyway.
Sky Sports.
What's the point in launching it over here then?
It's basically for all the old stuff and for the Legends House and Total Divas, I suppose. Mainly for the old stuff, I suppose, is the main reason for it.
Your ice cream truck?
Yeah. Every time an ice cream truck comes past, I shout Zappa, because it's like my favourite ice cream, which you can't get in the shops anymore.
Disgraceful. I think more breaking news, more firings, and more ice cream that's not available for
Yeah, back to WrestleMania 8. One thing I always remember of that was Ultimate Warrior at the end.
Yes, that and probably Roddy Piper's greatest match as well.
With Bret Hart, yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah. But yeah, the Ultimate Warrior. Because obviously I hadn't seen who this guy was. And then Hulk Hogan, who of course is one of my guys. And then he's getting beat up by Papa Shango and Sid Vicious, and then Warrior just comes pelting down, and Bobby Heenan just going like, "That's the Ultimate Warrior, look at him!" And you're just like, oh my, this guy's fairly pelting down the ring.
I tell you what, WWE could do for another Bobby Heenan right now.
Yes, exactly. I don't understand why they let Josh Matthews go if my teeth would work. I really liked him as a commentator, more so than Jerry Lawler.
There's rumours going TNA, isn't it?
Who, Josh Matthews? Oh,
Apparently. There was loads of rumours about him.
The company that's got no money, yeah.
How did you...
Yeah.
Was it,
God.
what is it Robbie says? 2-month contract.
It's a 3-month contract, as Robbie puts it, with TNA.
Yeah, just like we'll say to Jerry, we'll sign you for a match. Oh, right, okay, here's an idea. Why don't you focus on some young talent? This boot camp thing, great idea. But what's Rockstar Spud doing? Is he wrestling, or what's he doing?
He gets treated as a joke, really, doesn't he? He's a bit of a jobber.
Yeah, I think that's, unfortunately, if you look at him and then you look at Wade Barrett, unfortunately, it seems to be round Money in the Bank time. Wade Barrett seems to get injured, because didn't that happen last year as well?
Yeah.
He was meant to win Money in the Bank, and then he got injured.
It's kind of like he's not meant to be world champion sort of thing.
No, that'll be in his last match or something, or he'll go away, he'll be a successful actor, and then he'll come back and win the Royal Rumble, and we'll all hate him.
Talking of someone who should have gone on to so much more, Drew McIntyre.
He's actually been coming over here in like the 24th of August to, in like the Europa Hotel, but apparently he signed some deal with ICW as well.
Yeah, he came out at the last weekend, I think it was. Cause I don't know if you've seen the video on YouTube.
No.
He basically came out during a match and the crowd went crazy. He helped someone out, yeah.
Apparently there was some guy in the ring, and then someone said, "Oh, you've got no friends anymore," and it was black. Or music hit.
And then Drew was in the ring.
Drew came in, was in the ring when the lights went back up. Had a hood out.
And we get something, because as the chosen one by Vince McMahon didn't really lead to much as part of 3MB and then just being released.
It was a bit of a jinx, wasn't it? I mean, I don't know if you remember Elijah Burke. Vince McMahon did something similar with him when they first invented their own ECW.
Yes.
It was his guy, and then...
Wasn't he was like Sylvester Turkey or something he was with as well?
Yeah, I think he was, and then he became the Pope in TNA, and...
Yeah, and then he just...
yeah.
He's another one, strange one, and so is Ken Anderson, because I never know what the situation is with Ken Anderson, whether he's there or he's not, or what he's for doing.
Yeah, he's still there, but he's in and out. But with the
he
funny
thing... He should have been Vince's son, and instead it was the little... I'm not going to swear, the little son who was called Hornswoggle then, which was from one of the biggest angles to one of the smallest angles, no pun intended there.
Ken Anderson was actually going to be a part of that angle where Vince's limo got blown up, of what I heard.
Oh.
But then that whole thing, Chris Benoit, happened, and they completely dropped the whole lot.
I still have that recorded from DVD whenever Vince was standing in the middle of the ring talking about that, and she was like, "Oh, I can't believe he's dead," and the next day she's like, "He did what?"
It was coming out while they were showing it live, apparently, during the tribute thing. All of a sudden it was starting to come out, but they obviously couldn't turn it off during the record.
Yeah, you can't really go, "Oh, we've actually decided to change our mind now." Ah, sure.
Some crazy moments. But what was the first WWE show you went to?
2001, I believe. It was called the Down and Dirty Tour. I don't know what I was insinuating at all, but I remember being quite far back, and the best picture I had was of Bill DeMott doing a moonsault from the top rope.
Right.
Yes, that was the best picture I had from that event, because there was some muppet in front of me kept standing up and going like this, and like a Kurt Angle Submit t-shirt on, and on the back all I could see was like him in the ankle lock, and yeah, it's just really irritating. So obviously, as the more events you go to, the higher, the better seats you try and get. But yeah, that was the first one, was 2001. I still have my ticket for that as well. I like to keep all the ticket stubs from them as well.
I do that.
Yeah, I mean, cause my first big event, first event I went to was SummerSlam 92, but I can't find the blimmin' ticket for it anymore, which is a shame.
I don't have it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll tell you what, the amount of photos I've had ruined, they've been perfect pictures, been ruined by someone just putting their arm up at the last second.
Yep, and this was disposable cameras as well, so you didn't have a chance to take it or anything, retake it. Just a case of, you took it, wound it on, tried to take it again.
Yeah.
And, it was just ridiculous.
It is frustrating.
Yeah.
That's why I hate signs.
Oh, I've been lucky in the fact that at WrestleMania and the Raws after Mania, I think it was last year, there was some girl who had a sign who was applauding for Del Rio, and it's like, put your sign down. It was whenever the Undertaker was in the ring, and then the Shield came down. But she only had her sign up a couple of times, so thankfully that wasn't so bad.
We had that with a Mexico flag at this year's WrestleMania.
And Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, because when the whole time Rey Mysterio was in there, she had that up, so when he got eliminated, we all cheered.
No, there was a French flag as well.
Yeah, it was a French flag as well, but it's nothing worse than someone putting a flag up because it completely blocks your view.
Do you hear this, Alan? He had an Irish flag once, Red Handed Ulster flag, but he brought it for 30, but the way he had it up behind him, but then I couldn't see past him. You have to put that away. I can't see, and he did, so thank you for that.
You find you end up looking up at the screen because you can't see in front of you.
Yeah, it's just like you're looking up the screen and then the camera pans on you and look like a fucking muppet.
No, the worst thing was, it was after Undertaker's match and they were cheering, they had a sign for Undertaker, or whether it was a flag. They kept on putting it up and we kind of got a bit rude about it because it was just after the streak and it's like, it's Undertaker in the ring, your favourite wrestler's not there, so put your flag down.
So Chris ended up shouting in the person's face, wasn't it?
That's the polite version.
Yeah, it's like,
well, I don't mind you putting your sign up, but have a bit of consideration for others. There was a guy behind me on the Raw after 30, and it was an elderly gentleman, and, you know, like, people obviously stand up, so then you have to go with the flow and you have to stand up. Yeah. And he said, you know, like, he was just like, oh, I can't be doing this, and I turned around and went, you okay? And I can't be doing it all standing up and sitting down. The place I work with my knees. And I went, look, if you need me to sit down, I don't mind sitting down. I went, no, you make sure you enjoy yourself. And I was like, well, if you need me to sit down, just let me know. You know. So I didn't want to spoil it for him, but he was being gracious enough and saying to me. Plus the fact I'm Irish, so probably Northern Irish, so probably he didn't understand what I was saying anyway. So, but no, he was being nice enough about it. So, you know. Just be considerate for the people beside you and around you.
The one thing I hate is when people stand on their chairs. That's what really...
We had that 28.
Yeah, it's many kids that do that, and you're just like, this is terrible. But if one falls, they'd all learn their lesson then. But that sometimes security will say, sit down, and then sometimes it'll be like, he's still standing up. Do you want to tell him to sit down? No, you don't? Oh, right, okay. Because then other kids beside you can't see, and then it's the domino effect of all the kids standing on top of the walls.
I remember the Raw in 28 when we was on the floor.
Oh, Miami.
Some kid got in Maxine's way just so she couldn't get past him to go to the front to try and shake one of her hands. Which obviously, you know how small Maxine is. And I was just like, you should just push him out of the way. I know he's a kid, but the kid literally didn't let Maxine pass. He just stood there as if to say, like, you're not getting past me.
Well, did I ever tell you that story of when we met Bray Wyatt at Access, what I did to get to him?
No.
Oh, God.
We knew before getting in.
I was going to show Craig a really good light or a really bad light, and I'm hoping it's going to be a bad light.
It's funny. It was basically, we knew beforehand where the Wyatts were going to be because my friend got the text message. So I went sprinting in, nearly took out a kid in the process as I got towards him, literally had to hurdle a wheelchair. But I got near the front and I got a photo with him.
So bad light. Bad light.
Yeah.
I just saw people running towards it. I was like, nope, that is not happening. Oh, I'm in the queue for Xavier Woods. I'll meet him instead. He went, nice Zelda bag. And I was just like, I knew of all people, you'd be the only one who knows what this is.
Because we missed the first one.
Because the first time he did it, I think on the Friday, I couldn't get to it in time. So I went sprinting over there, but I kind of got blocked in because everyone was doing it. Yeah. So I completely got blocked and the queue was just out of control before I could even get into it.
There's poor staff.
Yeah, they
had to try and click how many numbers
I don't think the staff realised what was going on because it was just completely getting swarmed by people coming in.
Volunteers, aren't they? I think they're only volunteers.
You know the way in 30 you had the Money in the Bank thing with Kofi Kingston?
Yeah.
You can climb up beside it and pretend to go like that. Some woman goes, you have to stand in the same step that R-Truth is. And I went, who? And R-Truth. And I went, that's Kofi Kingston. That's not R-Truth. And we're like, oh, right, sorry. And then some girl didn't know who Xavier Woods was. Well, who's this guy again? And I went, Xavier Woods. And she went, what? And I went, just think Tiger Woods. So just call him Mr. Woods and you'll be fine. And she was like, oh, okay, thanks. Like, why are you here?
I know.
You shouldn't be here if you're not a wrestling fan.
I like the one with the woman with Rose, when we went to see Rosie for the second time. And Rose was like, oh, come round, have a picture. And I was like, am I allowed to? Because you know how some of the staff are quite funny.
Touching.
Yeah. And like she went, oh yeah, go around. She's the wrestler. I was like, well, yeah. It's like if she's okay with it, you should be okay with it. It's just like.
Yeah, I find really if you did that and you didn't ask them, they'd be like, security, get them taken out of here.
Yeah.
Talking of the no touching thing, AJ, what do you think of all that?
I can understand it. I can understand it to a point. If you're doing like wrestling, like Mark Henry doesn't allow you to shake his hand. You have to fist pump him. It's like, no, if you're not going to be gracious enough to shake my hand, I'm not going to shake yours. So
yeah.
I can understand it because she is such a cute little thing. Whereas maybe she's just had a bad experience of somebody, or maybe it's the fact that maybe Punk said something to her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want somebody, you know, so all these wrestling fans touching you. They're all weirdos and all, so don't let them. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's not like Avril Lavigne and her fans.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
You're near enough on the same different continents or whatever whenever you're meeting her.
So I know she had this experience. I think someone groped her.
Someone touched her in a place, put their
But
hands somewhere.
You make one mistake and you're in for all of us.
Yeah, but the thing is that fan access to not even let people shake your hand when there's security and staff around. Does it really hurt to shake someone's hand? I mean,
But I think though with her is
people are not going to do something stupid in front of all that
I can
lot.
understand the fact that she wasn't at access type of thing. She was at a hotel.
Yeah, I can understand to
an
an extent at hotels.
No touching, sorry. And he was like, yeah, okay.
I just think the whole photos look a bit awkward when you're not even allowed to put you. Because naturally, when you naturally when you get a photo of someone, you put your arm round them, whoever it is.
Yeah.
But you know, you're just sort of like a robot next to her, looking really awkward.
Yeah.
This
is the person here.
Because I was saying to Matt the other day, because of all the WrestleMania I've been to, I've seen how AJ has been over the years at Fan Access and how different she was a couple of years ago compared to now.
Yeah.
But people are like, oh no, she's fine. How can you say that about her? Whatever.
But these people haven't met her over the
years.
years.
If you've actually seen how she is when she was at 28, or
Yeah.
hi, how are you?
Give you a hug,
And then you see
really big.
her, and then you see her now.
Yeah.
It's like.
I mean, I remember in Miami, one girl was crying when she met her, so she hugged the girl. But I couldn't imagine her ever doing that now. I think one of the reasons is definitely CM Punk.
I think it's maybe, unless it's like little children, she'll do it then.
Yeah.
But if it's, you know, me going up to meet her, I'll be like, right, just make sure you stand your side of the table.
Well,
but some of them will be, but you find out with the guys as well, like Billy Ray, didn't let me shake his hand. I wasn't
It's
going to
the
argue with
fist
him. I was
bump
more scared of
usual.
Billy Ray than it was with Mark Henry, to be honest with you. It was so intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few of them, like the old fist bumps. Punk's the same.
I don't know. Part of me would never want to meet Punk because I've heard so many bad stories.
I've met him twice, and this is the thing. People don't understand how he can be until they actually meet the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was in Miami. Was the first one. He was just really. He comes across really awkward and like he doesn't know how to talk to people. Full stop. He treats us all like we're weirdos when we're not. I mean, a simple conversation doesn't hurt anyone.
No.
But then again,
I have to say though, when we went to the Harrod signing, he was a lot better than when we met him at WrestleMania 28.
of what I hear, he's better at Comic Cons than he is with wrestling fans in the actual signings.
Yeah.
Which is a bit silly, but I mean, when I met him at SummerSlam Access a couple of years back. At first, he was going to put his bloody iPod on. I was thinking, are you taking the mick or what? But he didn't do it in the end, and you could watching him talking to the women that were with the disabled people, and he couldn't even look at them half the time. He was looking to his side. He just looked so uncomfortable.
I actually heard that about Lita for that London Philip Comic Con, where apparently some people went up to meet her and she was on her phone and she wasn't really paying much attention. The people he actually paid to meet.
We kind of just waited for her to sort out, finish what
Yeah,
she was doing.
There was one point where later on I went to get her autograph for a friend of mine, and she was fitting to her phone. She said one moment, and then she was talking to us.
She came because she's really nice.
Yeah, I think it's just. I think she got a bit bored later on because there was very little later on coming over to them.
And on Sunday it was pretty.
Leah does sometimes come across awkward anyway. I don't think she really knows how.
She was lovely whenever I met
Oh
her.
yeah, it's just sometimes she can come across like she don't know really what to say, sort of thing. The awkward.
We went to a talk paid talk, and she was like, okay, let's just hang out. Let's have photos for a couple of minutes now. So we all got our cameras out, took photos, and then we can just hang out and ask anything, so nothing gets put on the internet or whatever, pictures, or anything gets filmed. So she was just literally just like, yeah, let's just chill out, hang out, and stuff, which was cool.
I think Grandmaster Sexy was the worst person I met.
Oh god, we got to meet him.
Can I have one of them? And he went like, yeah, it's $30. It's normally 30, but it'll be 20 for you. And I thought, I've already paid to meet you. Why would I want this photo? And then I went, I don't know if you're joking or not. And then he looked at me and went, do I look like I'm joking? And I was like, here you go. And then he signed it. Anyway, like, do you want to have a photo? And then Scotty was talking to somebody else, and I was like, from the people I thought were going to be really friendly, really upbeat, no, you weren't. You were the complete opposite.
Yeah, I mean, we're meeting him, Scotty and Rikishi in October.
Good luck is all I'll say.
When they come over, but hopefully they'll be in a better mood. But
I just want my book signed.
Whenever the Usos had finished, Ben stuck his hand out to say, nice to meet you. And he went like, no, dude, we're finished. Whereas Roman Reigns was the opposite. I stuck my hand out and he shook it, and I was like, oh.
Usos are one of the rudest people out, I'm telling you.
You see, it runs in the family, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the Usos are very disrespectful towards the fans. I've heard a few things about when someone asked a hotel for their autograph or something, the guy looked the fan up and down and then just laughed at him and walked off.
But then you look at Trinity,
it's like, really
different.
Yeah.
It's like, you're married to one of the bunker
But
doctors,
Tamina, again, she's part of their family and she can be a bit off, I find, as well.
Working with Chris.
Yeah, she's just quite off. She doesn't really want to know Tamina.
No.
But anyway, what was the... Is it just WrestleMania that you've been to out of all the pay-per-views?
Yes, that's right.
What was the first one you went to?
29.
29, which is New Jersey.
Yes.
That one cost me a lot of money that flipping week.
That was those flipping bus journeys from New Jersey to Secaucus or whatever the hell it was called. And, waiting around for hours to get a bus home, whereas this year it was a case of walk to the event, walk back. That was it. It was brilliant.
Because we stayed in Times Square and we got... I wish we'd got the trains in the end, but because it was early hours and all that with the access, we got taxis. They didn't know how to get to the bloody place.
What, the access part of it?
Yeah, they didn't know how to get to the stadium where the event was, let alone the access bit.
No, we had to get a train and then get a bus. And then, luckily, I met Mikey on 29 because I was due to have WrestleCon because obviously Hogan was signing. This is my first time meeting Hogan, and the amount of times I had to change my underwear because it was just wetting them with excitement. That didn't happen, by the way. But he knew where to get the bus and everything, whereas if he wasn't there, don't think I would have gone. I don't think I would have got there, to be honest, because it was so out of the road, whereas this year was like, there's the convention centre, fair enough, you had to walk and walk and walk and just keep going. And then that debacle, which was called WrestleCon, was a road from it, which was one of the most poorly organised places I've been to, compared to that. The one at 29 was so easy, and I thought, WrestleCon's going to be fun. Went in there, I was like, well, this is a bit of a turn out for the books.
It's like a bloody garage, wasn't it?
It was like, okay, where do you go?
Yeah, it was just...
I walk in, it was just like, right, is this the queue for Goldberg? Yeah, and then that super ticket thing.
I was like, where do I get my tickets from with the receipt and everything? I was going to the wrong one. I was like,
Yeah.
But
I mean, I got to meet a lot of people, to get me wrong, but that super ticket thing was absolutely crazy. Even Edge. Then I was trying to take a photo with Edge for Ben, and Ben said, this is a bit of a F-fest, isn't it? And he went like, and Edge went, do you mean the photo or the event? And he went, both. And he went, kid, don't get me started. Because they actually had to move him away because a lot of people were just in the queue for him or Piper, whereas nobody was meeting the Steiners at all for obvious reasons.
I've heard Scott's quite bad.
Yeah, he just says that we're all basically idiots. So,
the idiots that gave him a job all these years, yeah.
Yeah, I will holler if I hear you, Scott Steiner, but I don't think I ever will.
Rick's supposed to be really nice. It's just Scott that's a bit bad, apparently. We're trying to watch him park was quite funny.
Oh, yeah, we saw him trying to park while we was queuing on the Saturday. His brother had to get out and park it for him. He couldn't park the bloody thing.
So he can't cut promos and he can't park a car.
Yeah.
Anything to do with P, like Scott Steiner just seems to not be able to do.
I was so disappointed with WrestleCon. I was expecting so much more from it. Then when I went in, it was like a garage. I was already wound up before I got in there because of the whole fiasco of queuing beforehand.
Oh, but it was worse. Well, it wasn't that bad on the Sunday because we were all down mega early, and that was the first time that I got to talk to Samantha before because she was waiting for you whenever you were meeting Batista, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'd actually talked to Samantha more than I had you,
yeah.
which was funny. And then obviously Chris, Mikey and I were outside waiting to get in for Sting, and then you guys came in and we were just standing down. I actually have a photo in my memories thing of all of us standing outside.
Yes, because Craig was like...
I remember what I said to you. You wasn't in the best of moods that day because I made the comment to you about Velvet Sky. You look like you've been turned down with a promise from Velvet Sky.
Who, me?
Yeah, because you came along looking like you had the hump.
And all I got was a hug. I'm wanting more than that.
Because it was you who she took your cover, didn't she? Your iPhone case.
She signed my promo saying, "To Chris, you rock, thanks for the R2D2 case." And I was like, "That's fine, no problem." So that was fine, and I said, "I'll need to have a hug for that," and she went, "Yep, that's fine." And but she was lovely to me.
She always is.
They both were.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, at WrestleCon, I think apart from Sick Vicious, he was one of the weirdest people I've ever met. And then Superfly, let's just say Deodorant Man. That's
oh God.
Oh dear.
See,
but everyone else was fine.
I missed out
I had to laugh at Ian went up to Maria and said to Maria and went like, "Can I have a hug?" and went his arms out like that, and she went, "No, I don't do hugs," and he was like, "Oh right," and then put his head down and walked off.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because I was meant to meet Jeff Jarrett. Was it the Saturday?
We were both meant to meet Jeff Jarrett.
I was going to meet him and Karen Jarrett, and both days I just couldn't be bothered waiting for him. I actually threw my tickets in the bin and then ran into Ollie and Mark. And she's like, "Oh, if I'd known I was going to see you, could have gone need tickets for somebody, but they're in the bin back there."
Because Jeff Jarrett, apparently, we heard, was out on the P with Karen and everybody.
Yeah.
It was weird. People were turning up just randomly who weren't even scheduled.
But Matt Hardy
was late on both days, which was really strange.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Mickey James.
Mickey James.
Yeah. Well, she would have been pregnant by then,
though. Sunday as well.
Yeah, because I think you was with us when she turned up on Sunday. Yeah, I
that could have been due to pregnancy, though.
Yes, that's right.
I like that one. Here we go.
Yeah, that was Andy.
That might have been because of her pregnancy.
Yeah, it was just all you could see is wrestlers walking in who weren't meant to be there, just randomly. It's like, what's going on here?
I got to meet Chris Hero, and it only cost me $5.
Yeah, that was well cheap.
I was expecting...
Sim Snuka was one of the rudest people because we had met Colt Cabana and Ben had bought Cabana's DVD and got it signed and said to Sim Snuka, "Can you sign that?" And he went, "No, if you want me to sign something, you have to buy something of mine." And Ben was like, "No, you're alright," and walked off.
But no, I was... Because apparently Colt Cabana was charging like $30 or something.
What?
Also, I was heard it's like when Chris Hero turned to me, that'd be $5 to sign my Ring of Honor DVD and have a selfie. I was like, I was willing to pay more.
Biggest thing though, who met Virgil?
Nobody.
I saw
was tempted. Can I just say, I was tempted, but Craig was like, no.
No. A friend of mine had a WWF belt and he set it down whenever he went to meet Virgil, and Virgil actually went over and signed it. So that belt is tainted because of Virgil now.
Because Virgil, you could see him looking around at people, trying to get their attention. I was like, I'm not looking, because he's going to bloody call me, and I'm not looking.
Was it Ollie or somebody said that he tried to make a conversation with him or something?
Yeah,
Ollie could have a conversation with the wall, to be honest with you. He's that talkative. But that happened last year when we were queuing for Bret Hart. He came down the queue. So I felt like he was going to have start handing out big issues or something because he was just harassing everyone.
Oh, how one can fall. Jesus.
I don't think he was up high enough to fall, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Did you
meet sitting on the floor and then he fell down?
Did you meet Caitlin?
Yes, I did.
She's lovely.
It comes to something whenever the woman's more muscly than you are, which kind of scares me. She was lovely, but it was
PJ was there. PJ's like huge.
Like Maurice, it was just like you try to have a conversation, but it wasn't happening. SoCal Val, on the other hand, was one of the nicest people I've met. She would actually be quite high up my list.
I find with Maurice, she's quite distant. She can't really have a conversation with her.
Who?
Maurice.
Yeah, I said, because last year I was like, congratulations on your marriage. Oh, thanks very much. And then took a photo, and she was like, oh, the Miz is a lucky man. I'm sure the conversation at night is riveting.
Chris said that to her about Miz. I mean, he went up to Miz like, oh yeah, you're like, Miz is awesome, and she was like, yeah, that's why I'm marrying him.
Yeah.
Whereas Beth Phoenix, we had like a 5-10 minute conversation, and it said that I can't remember what she said. Her nickname for Edge was like some Cookie Monster or whatever because he loves his cookies, and then just kept talking to us, and we were like, this is brilliant.
She's nice.
Yeah, she's lovely. I find the divas are the best ones to meet out a lot because they're so much more appreciative.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
most of them
I
anyway.
met SoCal Val, who was lovely. Although God love her, she had like a really hoarse throat.
Yeah.
So she was talking like that. She was talking like John Laurinaitis. That's the best way to put it. And she said, "Oh, I love your accent," and I was just like, "Oh, thanks very much." And said, you know, I got my picture taken. Said thanks very much. And then I met Victoria, who in the photo she just like really like curls up with you.
Yeah, she did that with me as well.
Great.
I enjoyed that.
I met Sunny, who was very strange.
You've met her before, though.
Sunday I met her, and she went like, "Oh, you're wearing my boyfriend's T-shirt," and it's like, I was Shawn Michaels, like, "All right."
Yeah. Yeah.
Mickey James was lovely. Miss Tessmacher was lovely. I'm trying to think who else I met. And Velvet Sky and Angelina Love were really nice as well. So they were.
Did you didn't meet Team 3D, did you, or Dudley's?
Oh, I did. I was so glad. I was almost tempted to just go for the Billy Ray one, and I thought, no, I'll go for the both of them. So a guy before me had got it with just Billy.
Oh.
So if pretend Billy Ray is here, I know he's a bit bigger than that, but he's there, and I'm the guy, and then all he saw was Devon go like that, and Devon goes like, yeah, if you can't get a photo with both of us, you can't get it with one of us, and starts cutting a promo and goes like, are you racist or something? And I was like, oh my god, I'm so scared now, it's not funny, thank god. And that's why in the photo in the middle of it, he kind of slaps him. I know he slapped your back really hard. He slapped my back, and I was like, oh. And then you kind of just got my photo taken. Like, I'm not even looking at the cameras, like get me out of here. And, right, I'll move on. And then it was Caitlin. It was just like, oh, we went from really scary to really nice, and really nice to look at.
Devon didn't say a thing to me. Bully said hello, but...
Bully Ray was just like, oh, I love that promo, man. Thanks very much. And I went, you were one of the main reasons I started watching TNA. And he went, oh, thanks, man. And Devon was like, can you make it out to Chris? And he wrote, Devon. And I went, it looks like you haven't even spelt it right, let alone you were in the 6 vicious at all.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like they were just really, really scary.
No, it was, so much from now, you met Ultimate Warrior in Orleans.
That was by pure chance. We were walking down the street, and we were meant to be getting a taxi to the arena. I was just like, oh, come on, it's a nice enough day, let's just walk. So we walked past the hotel where everyone was staying, and walked around, and Chris went, is that the Ultimate Warrior? Is that the Warrior there? Because all he saw was the grey spiked hair and the beard, and there was a car parked, so I just ran, and I waited until he got the children in the van, and then obviously he was going to close the door, and I went, excuse me, sir, sorry, probably, would you mind if we had a couple of photographs? I hate that too. And he was just so lovely, so down to earth, and he was just like, yeah, man, no problem. And, like, and then people started giving me phones, and I went, F that, I'll just do it on my phone. And then I was so happy for Mikey, because Mikey was meant to meet him last year at WrestleCon, but the queue was that long, we had to go to WrestleMania in order for him to pick up his tickets, and he never got a chance to meet him. And then we met him then, and you could just see the joy in his eyes, and all of us were all buzzing from ear to ear, just big grins. I can't believe that just happened. Even there was another guy who was standing there, and he went, here bro, do you want in on this? And took a selfie, and we were just like, you know, thanks very much, all the best, have a great time. And then whenever we landed home, we're told about the devastating news, you know, like, but that was just, if somebody was to say to me, define your WrestleMania moment, that would be it. Walking along, and then Ultimate Warrior, getting to meet him. I mean, that's just, you can't get better than that.
Yeah, because I know for me, he was the reason I started watching WE in the first place, and it was one of those you think, damn, if only I'd been there.
You do kind of think, though, if he kind of knew that his time was up.
Yeah, it was quite
because,
strange.
You know.
Yeah, because of the promo and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't think he could have wrote how he would have left this planet, left Earth and, went on to the afterlife or what have you, than how he has, because his kids will have that moment of walking out on the stage with him and, being at WrestleMania and seeing him being at Raw and seeing him and things like that, and just seeing what he meant to the fans and what the fans meant to him and, all that. But, it's sad that he had to go. The only funny thing about it was that whenever the BBC reported he had passed away, they posted a picture of Hulk Hogan instead.
God.
And I was like, what?
Idiots.
That's the BBC for you.
Yeah, they such knowledge, shouldn't they?
There's something alright. I'll not say what BBC stands for.
Who would you say, out of all the people you've met, has been your most favourite one out of the lot?
Oh, I'm going to throw it, like Hogan, obviously, if you would say somebody that wasn't my favourite, because Hogan's my favourite guy, Mickey James would be my favourite diva, I would actually say John Cena. I didn't know what to expect from him, because obviously Kristen met him 2 years ago and said, like, he wasn't really that talkative or whatever, and Piper was brilliant to meet before when I went to the Eros comedy thing, which was just awesome. But I went up to him and I went like, nice to meet you, and he went like, hey man, where are you from? There's just a general chit-chat. And I went, listen, I didn't believe, I wasn't really a fan of yours. I was at WrestleMania 29 and you were there week in, week out, and The Rock wasn't, and I was cheering for you in the MetLife Stadium rather than The Rock. And I said, people may not think you're a good wrestler, but people can't deny that you're a good human being for what you do for all the kids' charities and Make-A-Wish thing. And just shook my hand and said, thanks for that, and got a photo, and away we went. Although every time I show somebody the photograph, they always go like, that looks like it's a cardboard cutout. And I was just like, no, it really is not. That's me and John Cena. Yeah, but that would probably be one of the most memorable ones is that, and then one of the most forgettable ones is Sid Vicious.
Yeah.
Sick Vicious, sorry.
Sick
Vicious. Spelled that wrong.
Yeah, I've had a few I've not been nuts on. Mark Henry's one that I wouldn't bother with again.
Nope.
But he seemed quite nice.
He's very up and down, but...
When you saw people meeting him at Access this year, he seemed a bit more...
He's too up and down.
Coulter was hilarious to me because he was signing my shirt and he wrote it Zeb, and he went, that looks like Morse code, and he started going, did it, and I went, as long as you can understand it, sir, that makes one of us, and he just laughed, and then I went away. But he was fun, but I just wish that with the VIP stuff you got like a minute or two rather than just having that, right, go take a photo, right away go, and that's you,
I had a little chat with Seth, didn't I, when I was up.
But Undertaker's one of those, it's autograph photo.
Thanks very much for
Yeah,
coming.
you don't get a lot from The Undertaker.
The Undertaker said to me, hey man, and I shook his hand and said like, what was I even said to him? He signed it was the Hogan magazine. And he said, like, oh, that's a really good magazine, like really good, and really good condition. I went, oh, thank you, and, thanks for everything you've done. And then he always says to you, nice to meet you. And I was just like, oh, well, thanks.
Yeah,
I met him whenever the streak was done tacked.
But he was like, he's like, thanks for coming out, kind of thing. He doesn't say much at all. Because, I mean, I will say that I paid stupid amounts of money because I had a feeling that something was going to happen. But it was kind of like worth it for me because he's the one person that I would pay that much money for.
But the queuing system was a bit weird though, because they had to take you over to another part because
Big Show
went way longer than it should have.
Because he was walking through and somebody actually thought it was Tyson Tomko because of the colour of his beard. But I don't think you would ever get those two mixed up.
No.
It was fine though because Michelle McCall came out and going, looking for Taker.
Yeah, that was the good part. Michelle McCall came out, I got a selfie with her, so that was... And I had my Lakehall shirt on at the time, which was perfect timing.
So she took a selfie with you?
Yeah, so she took a selfie with me, which was cool.
And obviously the most memorable is Rosa.
Well, yeah.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, it was the engagement with Rosa, meeting Taker, and then finally meeting Seth Rollins. Because at 28, he got the program signed for me for his death, and had it 2 Samantha. But then I kind of nobody seen me run that fast as I did when I went.